I am technologically challenged, so it's always a challenge for me. That's not what I wanted. Give me just a second more. I don't know what's going on here. My internet is just, I'm on the phone because the phone is working and the internet is giving me issues. It is what it is. Let's go back to this. Hopefully, so I can see the chat. Turn that off on that. All right, and my phone locked in vertical mode before I could get it to horizontal mode, so we're just gonna have to live with that. Oh, hello, George. I'm sorry about all the guys. It's just been, you don't understand. I mean, you probably do better than I do, really. But anyway, we're back to, at least we're online and we're talking. I got each glass labeled Evan Williams, JW. And when I did the JW Dant review, a couple of you guys commented that it would be a good comparison with the Evan Williams. So I thought, well, that would be something I could do tonight. And we can just, maybe every Tuesday about 5:30. I won't be, next Tuesday I might be working. I don't know yet. So we'll have to wait on that one. But hopefully I can figure out how to if I pre-schedule it and you don't see me, and it's, look for a second one, because more than likely that's where you're going to find me. Can everybody hear me, by the way? Stream is fine? Okay. Yes, okay, thanks, Jason. So anyway, make sure I got the right one with the right one. Yep, JW with JW. We'll do it. And just so you guys know, I do have other bottled and bonds. I've got an old Henry McKenna, barreled on 6806, barrel number 2805. I've had it for about a year and a half. I bought them when they were still like $24.99. I got a Heaven Hill bottled and bond, but I only got one bottle. And so since I can't replace it and find another one, that's going to be a hard one for me to open to do comparisons. My H. Taylor's already open. I've already had some of it. This, though, is the single barrel bottled and bond. So it would probably be more comparable to the Henry McKenna 10-year-old because it's a single barrel as well. Now, I also have a liter of Old Granddad bottled and bond. I bought it for $16.74. I haven't took that off there yet. But that would be something I could open and do a comparison with too as well. I haven't opened that for whatever reason. And of course I've got the Jim Beam bottled and bond, and it's open, and I don't know if I've actually I don't know. I've done something with all those Jim Beam stuff I did one time, and I don't remember. But I think I did a little bit of a review sort of on it. I'll have to re-look it up and tell for sure. Let's get the wife's little headache cold. It's been in the freezer, so my eyes are going to freeze for a minute. We'll give it a slow spin for a little bit. I don't want to spin too fast, I guess. I don't want to sling them off here. Make sure I haven't. Okay. Now this time, because it's got a knot on there and orientation and all that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them off. That way I don't know where the knot's orientated at. I'm going to take that off. We'll just set that upside down on the floor. All right. Now we're not going to know which one is which is the key to the whole thing. Now I really like the JW Dant. The JW Dant was, man, my eyes taking a minute to readjust. It's still a little frozen My wife's giggling in the other room, by the way, in case you didn't hear that. Ooh, I shouldn't have a headache. Let's see, what have I missed in the comments so far? I think I'm upside down. The stream is fine, yes. Loud and clear, hearing good. Extremely lucky 3 weeks ago. Tasted the old Fitz bottle in 1970. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I bet it was. Bet it was, Music Man. I love old bottles. New fashion statement. For who? Me? I don't know. I'm not going to say what that looks like. Okay, well, I don't know what it looks. It can look really weird. All right, we've had a minute to let them kind of do their thing. But I really had fun when I did the JW Dant down in Granola, Kansas. That is a nice town. It's just an old cattle town. But the museum's neat because they'll have big pictures, and they got the landscape style, the old, not tin types, they're not that old, but it's got the landscape. It's got like all the cowboys that came up on a specific cattle drive. They'd sit down, they'd take a big landscape picture, and they've got a few of those. I don't know where they came from, but they've got them up there, and it's kind of neat to see the old faces of the old real cowboys and the things they used to do, you know. It's really, really neat. Okay, right off, the nose on this one is a little softer than this one. Not much though, but it's just a little bit softer. The caramel and vanilla. I'm gonna get a little background tobacco note on that one. I tried smoking a cigar last night. I'm a non-smoker. That was a fail. I actually recorded it all, but I ain't releasing it. All you're gonna see is a guy going, how do people do this? There's almost a slight bubblegum note to this one. Just a real faint bubblegum note. But it's got the vanilla, it's got the caramel. It smells good. I like, probably on the nose, I do tend to like this one a little better than this one though. This one's hitting me. The vanilla and the caramel you expect to get. Maybe a little bit of brown sugar, which is, you know, just, caramel's just brown sugar that's stirred until it's caramelized. So you get a little bit more of a jelly note. Both of them, brown sugar is just molasses. Sugar with molasses added to it, and then they stir it, and that tends to be where caramel comes from. But you can make caramel without brown sugar. So it's just that molasses note that kind of, you get a little bit of a note of that maybe separates the two a little bit. And this one I'm getting the oak a little bit more. I get a little bit more of the oak on this one than I do on this one. This one's got a little bit richer on the caramel than this one does. Hey, Master Drum. Santa Cruzin. Old Fitzgerald is a unicorn here. Yeah, I've never seen Old Fitzgerald. Okay. Nose-wise, I believe I want to go with this one more on the nose than this one. So, you know what would be nice? If the little lady would bring me a glass of water. You can hand it to me from the back of the camera so you don't have to be on camera. I'd appreciate that.
Your blue water?
Yeah, that's... Yeah, I like this one a little better. There's just a little bit more rye on this one too, I think. As they sit in the glass a little longer, the rye notes come through a little more quickly on this one than it does on this one. That'll work. That'll work. Thank you, baby. All right, let's get started on the palate on. That's good though. There is a little heat. You're getting a little of the intensity on the heat from the 100 proof. And that's to be expected. Anytime you got these bottle and bonds, you're going to get a little bit of heat. And once that recedes though, especially on this one, and it's just an initial burst, I'm getting more of the oak on this one than this one, and the cinnamon flavor starting to really move forward on this one. I really get that cinnamon note. And it's really coming across really well on this one. I like that. We're getting ready to get a storm. That may be why the internet's so Yankee today. Dovetail whiskey. That's pretty good stuff. That's recovering from sinus infection. Oh, wow. I hope you get over your sinus infection. I hope it goes well for you. I don't know what they give you, but usually I get like, what's it called? Augmentin. That's what they usually give me. Off-camera assistance. Yeah. Yeah, she's off-camera assistant now. I'll probably pay for that later. Now we're getting a little drying on this. That's pretty good. Less initial heat on this one. Caramel. The caramel vanilla on this one are much more richer than this one. This one's a little more spicy. These are both Bardstown products. You know, both of them are Bardstown products. I don't know if they store them in different parts of the warehouse. I don't know what differentiates the two. I'm not sure about mash bills between the two because that's not something that I keep in my head. I know I put the mash bill down for this one, but I don't remember what it was on the video. Because I've looked at two different mash bills since then because I was doing some rye videos last night. So I got too many numbers. And I'm not good at multitasking. The caramel and the vanilla are much richer in this one than this one. This one's more spicy. This one's slightly more sweet. I have not had the Evan Williams in 3, 4, 5 months or more. So, and I just had this one on Friday, so you think I could tell the difference. And I want to think this one's probably the more spicy. This is the more sweet one. But I was wrong last week, big time. So we're not going to count anything. We're not going to count our chickens before hatch. I'm working on memory on this one. We're going to do it a couple more times. There's more flavors in this one than this one. Get a little of the dill now. That oak and that dill's coming through a little bit. More of a rye response. They may have the same mash bill, but the rye comes through much richer on this one. They really do. They're both good. This one's slightly sweeter. This one's slightly more spicy. This one's giving you 2 or 3 notes that's coming at you real hard and strong that are really good, so it's delivering them really well to you. This one here is getting you with a few more notes because you're still getting the caramel, you're still getting the vanilla. Get the dill, get the oak. It's just really, it's a more total experience on this one than it is with this one. Let's do it one more time on this one. This is really good, guys. Hey, Scout, hold up the glass up a little longer. I think we can read the tape. Okay, on this one I will. Oh, I can't look at that because I'll see the tape. I've been looking at the thing I haven't really thought about, so I got to look away because that's running on a delay. Now you... We'll do that one more time. I didn't really think about that. One more taste off of this one. The oak is there on this one too. It's coming into the finish. That's where I'm really getting the oak on this one. Versus I'm getting more of the oak up front on this one. But I'm still getting most of the sweetness on this one. I really am. This one's more, it's more skewed to the sweet side. There is a spiciness there, and don't get me wrong, but it's far less spicy than this one. All right, enough is enough. Let's get another drink of water. I'm going to call this one Evan Williams because I think it's more, my memory of the Evan Williams was it's a little smoother than the JW Dant was, and I may be wrong. But I'm going to go ahead with this one called Evan Williams. I'm going to take one more drink so I can finish the glass. Look at the bottom. And we shall see. Oh no. Okay, calling it Evan Williams. We shall see. Ah! I'm 2 for 2. I'm wrong. So the JW Dant is smoother, not smoother, but sweeter than the Evan Williams. That's pretty wild. This one takes you on more of a trip. It brings you more flavors. The Evan Williams brings you more flavors. It takes you on more of a trip. This is more one-sided. It just delivers a few things really good. Like I said, they're both good. They're both really good. You're just seeing a slight difference between them again, and that is more sweetness, almost more of a barrel component with it. More the rye stands out. The rye is more prominent in this one, as well as the barrel effect on the whiskey than this one. Now, barrel effect meaning coming from a spicy side, because honestly, barrel effect is also bringing us the vanillas and the caramels in this one. I mean, that's all barrel effect on both sides. But I guess maybe, let me think about this just a little bit. The reality, if I think about it in the grand, slow down. My brain is working faster than my mouth. Frequently. Okay, we're getting barrel effect on both. But this has enough spirit effect with the rye and the dill with the rye and the more cinnamon in it. And that cinnamon comes from the barrel than this one does. This one, we're getting the caramels and the vanillas from the barrel much heavier. This one's dragging the cinnamon along at a higher intensity than this one does. Still get spiciness with this one, but it's not nearly as prominent as it is with this one. So it's all going to be what you prefer. I prefer the Evan Williams, I think, more than I do the J.W. Dant. J.W. Dant's great, but the Evan Williams, I like that. I like the more flavors it delivers. I like the oak. I like, and I just, it came across much better to me. Simple. Simple as fact of the matter. Both sub $20 bourbons. Usually if you shop around, you can find them both for less than $15. Both are excellent choices. Both are solid drinking bourbons. Both are very good. Bottled and bond route is not a bad route to go. I could have added water, brought it down, but why? It's bottled and bond. It's meant to be drank like that. For me, that's how I interpret it. I could water it down. I could get an 40 to 45% bourbon, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because I like several 40 and 45% bourbons. I'm not a high proof only type of guy. I like some good 40%ers. I like my Evan Williams my Elijah Craig bottled and bonds, my Knob Creek bottled and bonds, Booker's. So there's a vast spectrum of there. It all depends on what I am looking for at that moment in what I'm feeling like for the day. That's what it really determines it. Some days I want to burn my doors off, and some days I just want to relax and let the bourbon talk to me in the way it does. But I want a good bourbon. I don't want Virgin Bourbon 101. I mean, it'll work in a pinch, but it ain't nearly as good as either one of these. Not nearly as good. So, there you have it, guys. What do you guys think? Let me look on here. I can see if I can catch up. Can't wait to trace. I'm also on dry week. This is a good comparison. Thank you. Hey, Scott. Yeah, I did that. Haven't had the Dant, but that doesn't surprise me. Okay. How much does Dant run? I paid $14.59 for that bottle. I remember that. I don't remember exactly what I paid for Evan Williams, but I was in the store the other day, and the store I was in was a little higher price store, and they had it for $17.99. That's what they had it for. $18, but $17.99 was what they had the Evan Williams. Finally on the computer. Good blind, Scout. Oh, sorry, I have to run. Previous engagement. All right, Whiskey Music. Well, you have a good day. And thank you for joining when you did. I appreciate that. I really do. Well, guys, any questions for me or anything? And if not, and any suggestions for... I'm going to try to be here next Tuesday, so if it doesn't work out, the Tuesday after, hopefully. If you guys have any suggestions, if you want me to do another comparison of this and with something back here, other than I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to open the Heaven Hill. I just can't replace it, and I'm not going to do it right now. That's not high on my priority. But any one of the other four, even though the old Granddad's not open, I have no problem opening it and spinning, as well as the Henry McKenna. I know Henry McKenna's are spotty. I've seen reviews where some guys like them, and reviews where some guys don't. Reviews where some guys review two Henry McKenna's and very different ones and get very different results. So, and here's another thing. I've got a bottle of Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare. It's a store pick. I got from My Bourbon Pursuit, and on that one, I haven't opened it yet, but I could set that one against one of the other two Eagle Rares I have. So you guys, that's just kind of throwing that out there for now. So if you got any ideas of how you want to do it, put it in the comments, and not in these comments. Well, I'll look at. I don't have a JT Brown. I can't. We don't get JT Brown here in Kansas. That's one thing I don't have. I'm sorry. I've never seen it. Thank you, Santa Cruz. And it's not cold here, Santa Cruz. It's starting to rain. We're starting to get a storm, but it's not cold. I think winter's finally over. I mean, I'm sure we'll have a little snap. We always tend to do, but this winter was more like some of the winters I remember more when I was younger. And then, the past few's kind of hit and miss, hot, cold, hot, cold. This one stayed cold and gave us plenty of snow for a change. It's been really pretty good winter. I do like the occasional cigar. I don't know, never a cigar again. But it is rare, 6 to 12 months between. I'm not going to put that footage on air of me smoking it. I don't even know why I took it. I've never done that before. My wife, she was like, I come home and told her. She couldn't believe I did it. I don't know why I did. I walked into the store. I use lighter fluid, and what I do for a living. When we use our black light, you'll take your dimple plates, and we'll put select pieces of cuttings in the dimple plates that give us a little fluorescence. Then under my fluorescence, in my fluorescence box, we had just a little bit of lighter fluid to each one. And if it's got oil or gas in it, it will stream out of the rock, and you'll see it like a little stream. It'll a hazel form around the rock, and then it'll slowly just kind of start to drift off from the rock. And we call it a cut. And depending on how that cutting cuts, depends on your level of availability of hydrocarbon trapped within that rock. Some will cut very hard, some won't. It's not okay, we're delving into something you guys don't need to know. But anyway, I have to use it. Well, the last well I was out on, I'd used the last out of the bottle I had, so I had to buy a new bottle. Well, here at the liquor stores, they have a smoke shop next to the liquor store. So I go into the smoke shop just to see if I can get lighter fluid there. Of course, they didn't have it. But in the process, there's 3 guys smoking a cigar in there. And a cigar smells, from a distance, it doesn't smell so bad. It's not offensive. Cigarettes can stink to me. Cigars stink, but it's not an unpleasant smell. And I even like pipe. My great uncle used to smoke a pipe. And I even like a pipe better. So anyway, but these are just a long time ago things I used to do. Long story short, I pooted around or fiddled around, and I bought a Padilla 1932 cigar for $6, and the wrapper, he just had it in a box, a bunch of cigars in a box, and all had $6 each on. So what the hell? I'd come home, show my wife, and she just give me a cross-eyed look like, you're crazy. So last night, I was out there with rye whiskey, and I lit that thing up after I was done, just trying to drink rye, and it wasn't good. Rye whiskey don't go with that cigar, or that cigar, or nah. I don't know if anything would have went with that cigar. But that's just me, guys. Everybody has their thing in this world. But woo, that was a fight. I made it through about half of it, and I decided I can't do this no more, and I had to quit. So anyway, it wasn't funny or anything, but I spent the next hour with scope and brushed my teeth and ate a bunch of hot drink. I was drinking hot sauce. I ran out of Frank's hot sauce. I use that a lot on my pizza. We had pizza last night. I was coating my pizza with it. I drank it straight from the bottle trying to get rid of that dang flavor. I finally did. But it was amazing how long it dwelled in my mouth and on my palate after that. I mean, a good hour and a half, 2 hours, I was just like, I could not get rid of that taste. Power to you guys that can do it. You guys that can do it and enjoy it, go for it. I mean, that's your thing. That's not a problem. It's just not my thing, guys. I'm going to stick with bourbon, Scotch, occasional Irish. That's what I'm going to stick with. So anyway, some more Evan Williams to go with. Yeah, I had an uncle that smoked a pipe, Jason, and I'm with you. He would smoke that pipe in the living room. It was actually my grandfather's brother, Clint. And it would drift. You know, I'd only see him at Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July, something of that nature. He's the only one that really ever smoked a pipe. But when he would start smoking that pipe over in the family room or in the living room or wherever he was at in the house, because my parents both smoked cigarettes. I've never smoked, and they've since quit. But, well, Dad still chews tobacco. I've chewed tobacco a little bit when I was younger. But when he would light that up, it would always have such a sweet smell. And I remember that because we play a lot of cards in my family. Back then, we would play canasta, pinochle, pitch, occasionally hearts. I never played spades till I joined the Army. We played a lot of spades, but we'd always play a lot of card games. Or everybody would bring their jar of pennies and we'd sit around and play penny poker. That was very common at Christmas time, believe it or not. And he would smoke that pipe, and it was a very good smell. I always enjoyed that smell. I got to admit that. It was very captivating. I don't know anything about it actually, but it was. I just remember it smelled really good. I really do. Well, I still got 8 of you watching. That's pretty interesting. Dant versus JT Brown is a fun comparison. It would be mash and drum. It really would be. I just don't got JTS Brown. I think Evan Williams would be a good shot. I think Evan Williams would be a really good comparison. I think this is some of the most underrated bourbon you can get. I really do. That's my personal opinion, but it's one of the better products out there, especially in the bottled and bond. If you want a starter point, if anybody watching this is thinking about that doesn't drink bourbon, or in the future that watches this that doesn't drink bourbon, get the Evan Williams standard black label first and just sip on it gently. Then when you're ready to step up to more flavor, get the white label bottled and bond. That is a great introduction to bourbon. That's going to get you into bourbon cheaply and not so expensively. You don't need to buy a $40-$50 bourbon for your first bourbon. There's a lot of good choices that aren't in that price range. Yeah, eventually you're going to end up there. Eventually, yeah, you're going to end up with a Colonel E.H. Taylor single barrel. That's hard to beat, in all honesty. But we're not there yet. So I always think of it as I earned my chops drinking Jim Beam White Label back in the 80s, early 80s, drinking whatever, Wild Turkey, Evan Williams, What was it Jeff drank all the time? Weller. Jeff drank a lot of Weller and had a lot of that. I mean, you know, we just Beam. Drank a lot of Jim Beam. Even the Beam's Choice, believe it or not, back then. We get that when we could. That was always good bourbon too. I remember that very well. Hey, Richie Z. A little late. Just so you know, I prefer the Evan Williams over the J.W. Dant. But, in fact, I'm on my second pour of the Evan Williams. But the J.W. Dant was good. It's not a bad bourbon. I think the Evan Williams brings you more flavors. The J.W. Dant's a little more one-sided, but what it does extremely well. They're both good. They're just a little different. And they're both, you know, Bardstown products. So, anyway. Oh, man. I'm running out of things to talk about, guys. For somebody that likes to talk, that's pretty rare. Damn, this is good, though. Now I've got the bourbon train started now. Rain ain't quite started yet. We'll throw some E.H. Taylor down. Just a splash. Can't do much worse than that. What does it say here? Santa Cruz and... I don't know what it's saying. We'll show it. Hey, mister. I don't know what's... I don't know why I had to make that decision, but okay. Much different. Now comes the caramel in waves. Caramel backed vanilla with that subtle oak spice. Oh, the sweetness. The sweetnesses. You got to have a sweet tooth to like this. That is so well metered. And by metered, I mean no spikes, no oscillations. It's taking you through transitions so subtly. And it's finishing with a blackberry. Oh, goodness gracious. These are good. This is, I haven't had much out of it. Not enough to do a review yet. This is much better, but you pay for this. That's easily 4 to 5 times the cost of those. Robert, the Eagle Rare Store pick. What's the store? It's a Wisconsin store. I can't remember. I'd have to look at it. I got it from Bourbon Pursuit. It's down in the basement. I'm unsure. I'm really unsure about that. I haven't opened it. I just got it literally yesterday in the mail. Looked at it. I literally got it from his hands yesterday. I gotta think about how I word this stuff. But anyway, but I did. I got it yesterday, and yesterday was a whiskey shopping day. Yesterday, I bought I bought a Dalwhinnie 15 Scotch. I got it for $51.99. I don't know. They were it's the only one they had. I think they were tired of looking at it in the store, something like that. They discounted it usually at 62 to 60, 65, 67 bucks. I bought a Glen Ord. I've never seen a Glen Ord before, other than in the Singleton tubes. This was not in a tube, and it was an official distillery bottling of Glen Ord 12. Neck was a little low on it, so they've had it for a while. Bought that. Bought a couple of beers. Bought something else too. I don't remember what else I bought. But it's all scotches. Sometimes it's a Scotch day, sometimes it's a bourbon day. It all depends on. I did look at an 8th and Sand. That's just now come to our area from an MGP. They also had something else from MGP. I forget what it was called. But they were side by side at that store. And if I remember right, they wanted $29.99 for the 8th and Sand. And I'm just not. I don't know. I'm sure it's good. MGP's good, but with no. It says it's a blended bourbon with the bourbon with blends. So I'm kind of. I don't know if that's really what I want to try it, but it's one of those things I want to try before I buy. That makes sense. I think, and surely I can show up in Monarch someday and they'll have it in there, and I'll give it a try that way. I think the garage there is going to blow. Yeah, it does move. It mows. Yeah. Don't necessarily blow out the doors off of them, but it is definitely 2 or 3 steps above. It's got a fruitiness, a light fruitiness to it that they don't contain. Right now, even on the nose, after it's been open a bit, there's a little peaches there. Vanilla, caramel, 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 caramel. Then, coming behind the caramel, there's a little peaches, a little blackberry. It's more fruity than I thought it would be. And then everything is so even keeled. No spikes, no going from one thing to another. It's just kind of it's coming along. You get this, and it just eases into the transitions. It doesn't jolt you as it goes through the transitions. And then, just a little bit, just a little slight bit of a smoky characteristic to it, along with the fruitiness, along with the caramel. And there's the blackberries in the finish again. There's a little bit of deal with that. Hey, Crown, yeah. Do you have a limit per week on new bottle buys? Yes and no. Yesterday was just kind of I was out and about. I was in Wichita, and it was just time to do some shopping. I don't normally. I don't know how to say it. There are some days, once every month or two, that I go out and it'll be just a whiskey shopping day. I've kind of dialed back. I used to do it probably once every couple of weeks, once a week sometimes. But I've got so much stock built up. It's going to take a long time to get through it all. I think if you looked at my 2017 bourbon when I did all the whiskeys I had, the whiskey inventory. At this point, you could probably double that. And it's gotten out of hand. And even my wife she's looking at me a little cross-eyed now. And even I've got to sit back and go, it can't, there comes a point in my life anyway, and I can't speak for everybody else, but in my life, it comes to a point where you've got to come to an understanding. You can't buy everything. When you walk into a store, even though you don't have it, you go, well, I just like to try it. You've got to come to that point. It's like the eighth in sand where I can't buy everything I see today. I can't buy, if I don't have it, I don't see it. I mean, there's a couple of Glenrothes yesterday I'd like to have purchased. I'd like to purchase that eighth in sand. There was several other, there was a new store pick on Knob Creek that if I had showed up at that store first, I would have bought instead of a couple other ones, instead of another one I'd bought. But that's neither here nor there at this point. But the object's not to go broke buying bourbon. I mean, that's it may sound strange, but it is. It's you just don't want to. You just don't really want to push that. I mean, everybody's different, But in my world, I've got too many other things. You got to save for retirement. You got to save for this. You got to save. You got to do things, and that requires money. That should be. This should be your fun allotment. Right here. These are your fun. This is what it's about. That's not about spending $200-300 a week on bourbon. Now, if you've got the income to justify it, that's different. Everybody's income is different. I'm not going to be Bill Gates. Bill Gates could buy every liquor store completely I've ever seen. I'm not that way. And if your income justifies a couple of $100 a week on bourbon or scotch or whatever, whiskey. We'll just say whiskey in general. There's no problem with that. Do with it what you will. My income doesn't really justify that. I've just now got both kids out of the house, but I can tell you right now, I've been to both of my kids' houses every day, it seems like, after work for the last 2 weeks, it's just weird. It's just weird. I don't understand it. I'll be honest with you. You get rid of your kids, but they're still there. So it's just what it is. Anyway, but yeah, that's, everybody has the reasons they purchase, what they purchase, and why they purchase. I like oddball things, and I like Knob Creek store picks. I like a few other things too. But the Glen Ord, for instance, I'd never seen that before. And so when I haven't seen something before that's not usual to the area, something I don't know much about, I go Google it out in the truck, and if it sounds interesting, then I go back inside, purchase the bottle. If it's not something that, after I Google it, kind of look at it, see what it is, but when I Googled it in the truck, it showed like 2003 to 1990 bottlings of this. And it really didn't show any bottling choices on whiskybase.com after 2003. So I thought, well, this is not very common. The label's a little ratty on it. It's got a few little turned up edges, and you can just tell it's been sitting on the store shelf for some time. So then I walked back in and I said, well, I'll take a chance on it. That's kind of how I do it. And even in western Kansas, even in southern Nebraska, western Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, or Colorado, or northern Oklahoma, when I'm going through those liquor stores, it's the same way. And I'm a sucker for packaging. If it's something that I find interesting, packaging-wise, I'll purchase as well. I haven't bought a Hague Club yet, even though I think those blue, square, perfume-looking bottles are pretty neat. I haven't heard anybody go, that's really good stuff. So I will defer to the people that do that. My wife's the only one that buys me a bottle at Christmas, Richie. And she got me, what'd she get me this year? She bought me the Rampur for my birthday. I forget what she bought me for Christmas. Last year, it's funny, I can remember last year's bottle because it was the a High West bottle she bought me. I don't remember if it was the Rendezvous Rye or the American Bourbon. What did she give me this year? No, I don't remember. I ain't going to tell her that, though. Well, guys, we're still at 8 watching. I think that it's probably time to call it quits. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will try to do this on Tuesdays when I can. Usually around 5:30. That's a good time for me on Tuesdays. But if I'm out working, it's going to be hard for me to do. And if I do and I'm going to work more on, I thought I had solved live streams on I'm trying to set a time and let you guys know ahead of time when they're going to be there. But I haven't figured out how to make it work and then go to Google Hangouts and do it. So I need to get a new computer. But my internet's been wonky. That's why I'm doing this over the phone. The phone's working fine. So anyway, but we'll try to do that then. And I can't promise you I'll be here, everyone, because I know this next Tuesday I'm going to be going down south the 20th, I think. It looks like the 20th I'll be going down to Texas. So I'll be riding motorcycles down there. So I'm hoping I'll be back by Tuesday. I think that's when I'll be back. But if I'm not, then it'll be the Tuesday after. But remember, everybody watching this after this and all you guys on here, you've seen what I've got for comparisons. If you want to see a comparison out of those two against these two, let me know. Put it in the comments, and we'll go from there. And if I get enough comments one direction or the other, then we'll do the comparison. I mean, I would rather not compare Colonel Taylor against these, because I can tell you right now that's unfair. I mean, it really is. You know, but I wouldn't feel bad about comparing it against McHenry and McKenna. I've yet to open that, but these two here is, even from just the little sample I just had, was that fruitiness is just it's pretty good. I gotta go, guys. So remember, the spirit in your glass ain't running from you. Take your time, sip, and enjoy it. You'll be better for it, as will we all, because it's just the way it is. It's meant to be enjoyed in small portions. You'll enjoy it more, and you'll be able to find your keys in the morning, believe it or not. So everybody, have a good evening.